Hi guys, so welcome back to our channel for our second video in this kind of, I don't know what we want to call it, a series,
sit down,
just chatting, getting to just talking. But anyway, so the second video is going to be on property types. So staying on Disney versus International Drive, specifically. There's other options. You can stay in villas and Kissimmee, and you can stay on Universal, but we've decided that we're going to do the two ones that we know most about.
These are the ones that we've done in the past.
International Drive and Disney property. The two we've stayed on are Coronado Springs in Disney and the Roslyn International on International Drive. So yeah,
there's quite a few Roslyn's. We stayed in the one directly next to the world's biggest McDonald's.
Well, it's not the world's biggest anymore. It's the second.
Well,
it's the world's biggest play area.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it. We're going to start with the bad points and then we'll move on to the good points. So I think we'll start with the bad points of Disney. Not that there's many, but we'll go through them. We've kind of been really harsh.
So we've only ever stayed on Disney property once, and we don't think we'll ever go back to staying on iDrive again.
No,
we just love it so much.
I think I'd rather spend a little bit more, and that takes us on to our first bad point.
Yeah.
That staying on Disney is expensive. Depending on where you stay, they do have value resorts, and we'll go through different resorts in a different video, but the value resorts are cheaper, then you got your moderate resorts, and you got your deluxe resorts, and you got your deluxe villa resorts, which we've never even been to because you have to be...
I don't think you can.
You can't just visit them, I don't think. I'm not sure. Well, whatever. But it's expensive, very expensive to stay on Disney in comparison to iDrive.
However, even though it is more expensive, we'll go into the perks of Disney, but you do get a lot of free things. So
yeah, well, it evens itself out, but it is definitely more expensive. And when you get the bill, it's a bit of a...
yeah, it is a heart stopper. Yeah.
Okay, so next point of bad bit about Disney.
Another bad point about Disney is you're quite far away from the other attractions. Yes, Disney World is right on your doorstep, which is amazing. However, if you want to go to SeaWorld, Universal, the big Orlando Eye, Legoland, anything like that, it is a bit more of a drive, which can be a little bit annoying.
So if you've got like a family with like teenagers and you're not as into Disney as us perhaps, and you've more of a Universal family, then actually staying on Disney may not be the best option because it then becomes further to drive. You might as well stay on Universal. Another bad point about staying on Disney is you're further away from your traditional American restaurants that English people love.
So for us, because we're from England, when we go to Florida or America, we love to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
And it is a bit more of a drive, not overly, but it's
no,
a
it's
little
up
bit
on
further.
Turkey Lake Road, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean you can walk to Walmart from International Drive. We've done it before. It took us a while, but I mean it's doable. Whereas from Disney, you can't do it.
You have to drive or get a taxi or whatever. So it's a lot further. Things like IHOP and stuff on International Drive. You've got Perkins. You've got all your different restaurants like
Wendy's,
Golden Corral, Wendy's, stuff like that. Yes, Sonic's, it's all there. So anything you've seen, Denny's, anything you've seen in the movies or you've heard people talk about, they're all on International Drive. And you can't just walk to them from Disney. Whereas where we were at Roslyn Inn, we walked out of our hotel and everything was there. We could see IHOP from our room. So another bad point about Disney is...
the dining plan. Yes, the dining plan is amazing, and we will talk about that a bit later on in the video. However, if you don't have the dining plan when staying in Disney, it can be very expensive.
Yeah, because most hotels in Disney, if you book through Virgin, who we book through all the time, you get the dining plan, which we'll go through in a minute, but you get it for free. If you don't book through Virgin and you don't pay for it, and you're still staying on Disney, you're then going to have to be buying all your meals in Disney property, Disney hotels, Disney restaurants, all this stuff, and it adds up very quickly. So
especially if you're a family, it can be
yeah. So
expensive.
Disney dining is expensive if you don't get it for free. So the bad points about iDrive. Again, we're going to start with the same idea. Food can be expensive. Now, when we went, we didn't really hold back on what we wanted to eat. We kind of ate where we wanted to eat. We've never tried a restaurant called Chili's. We walked in, we really enjoyed it, and now it's one of our favourite restaurants when we're there. It's not exactly expensive, but it's not cheap like McDonald's. It's a sit-down restaurant. It's nice. And another thing about going to restaurants on International Drive is, obviously in America, anywhere, Disney or not, you still have to tip, which is a big thing in America.
It's definitely something you should take into consideration when planning and budgeting. It's, for now, like, to think about it, you'd be like, oh, tips, nothing. But when you pay a tip for every single meal, it's extremely expensive.
You don't have to tip at like McDonald's and sort of fast food restaurants and stuff. You can, but you don't have to. It's kind of just because it's not a sit-down meal.
It's table service.
Yeah. We'll go through...
that was just a text from Domino's.
We'll go through tips and stuff and surviving in America in another video, but actually let's definitely take it into consideration.
So another disadvantage to staying on iDrive is the fact that, one, you have to drive to the attractions, and when you get there you then have to pay for parking, and that is a stinger. So to park on Disney property, so if you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom for the day, to park at Magic Kingdom is $20 per day. Sometimes I think the prices may vary, but whenever we've gone it's been about $20. The same applies to SeaWorld. Actually no.
SeaWorld was about 15.
I don't actually remember paying at SeaWorld. Oh no.
It was included in, we get one free day, but it's $15 if not.
Yeah, and then Universal is about $20 as well.
It's about $20.
So
and then if you want preferred parking, it's like $25. It's so much more expensive. Preferred basically means you're closer to the door, because in Disney you actually park sometimes so far away that you have to get on a little train thing to take you to the entrance, then get on a train to go to Disney. So it takes about half an hour sometimes to get to actually the park, and you just parked up. It's such a long distance sometimes, it really is.
So again, it's something else that you may not think that you'll have to pay for, but you do have to pay for it. And we learnt from one of the first times we went when we stayed on iDrive, it does cost a lot to park.
Yeah. Another thing we learned is our last bad point that we're going to mention about International Drive is the fact that the rep, your Virgin rep. Now, we made the mistake last time of not getting our Harry Potter early admission tickets. So basically, when you go to Florida and you fly through Virgin, you get early admission into Universal Studios. You get early admission into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So basically, you go to the park, they let you into either one, depending on, sometimes I think it's one, and then they change it. I'm not 100% how that works. But anyway, you get to go in early. When you arrive in Florida, at the airport, and you go through and you collect all your stuff from the rep as you're going through, and you get your car, or they get you on the bus to take you wherever you're going. If you ask there, they will give you a Universal early admission. We didn't do that our first time staying in International Drive, so we had to walk up International Drive to a hotel where the rep was staying and get them off her, which wasted about an hour and a half.
Not every hotel on iDrive has a Virgin rep. So we had to go to another hotel, and then we probably waited about an hour to actually speak to her.
Yes.
Which, I mean, they're busy, people want to speak to them, but that was definitely a down point.
So our advice, definitely make sure that you've got everything you need before you get to the parks and hotels, because that was a real annoyance. It wasn't something we needed, we still had our Universal tickets, it just meant we couldn't get in early. That was the issue.
Now we are going to talk about the advantages.
Advantages, the pros, the good bits basically. The main reason you would stay on iDrive is for the experience of America.
So by that he means on our doorstep, as we said earlier, we had IHOP, we had Wendy's, we had Popeyes, we had McDonald's, we had everything that you can think of.
Within driving distance, we had a Target, we had
a Walmart,
a Whole Foods. Also as well, both ends of the street from us, which was both ends, was two massive shopping centres. We had Florida Mall, we had Mall at Millennia, all these places, so we could really experience America and actually get to know everything. And I don't regret it at all.
No, I'm really glad we did stay.
Yeah, I'm really glad we stayed in iDrive. Some of these points we're saying, you may be sitting there going, well, that's not a bad point.
It was just a bad point.
It's just a bad point for us, and sometimes they're not even that bad points. I think sometimes we're just being a little bit picky, actually. But yeah, so experience in America, that is a big part of staying on iDrive in comparison to Disney.
Another advantage to staying on iDrive is it's a lot cheaper. Like
a quarter of the price.
Yeah, I mean it's very, very cheap. Compared to Disney, well, Disney is extortionate priced. But
well, put it into comparison, our first holiday cost us $1,900 each, just for like tickets, not including spending money and food money and stuff like that. Just for the tickets cost us $1,900.
And that was for 3 weeks.
That was for 3 weeks. We stayed 3 weeks on Disney, and it cost us
8,000.
$4,000 each.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about a quarter of the price, really. I mean, yes, we'll explain in other videos what we got with Disney versus International Drive, but the bulk money of what we spent was just huge difference between the two. We'll go through it more in detail in our video if that's what you guys want, and it's what we'd like to do, because it's a video that we would like to have seen before we went. These are the kind of questions we would have been asking, so we thought we'd answer them. Closer to other theme parks and other attractions. So staying on International Drive, you've got the Orlando Wheel, which is basically a massive Ferris wheel. It's huge, and
It's
you
like-
can
it's
see
like
the
the
whole of
London
International.
Eye,
Yeah,
that's
like
what
the
it-
London Eye, and you can see the whole of International Drive. Really good. We've never been on it, but it looks awesome. Close to SeaWorld, you're close to Universal. You aren't really any closer to like places like Busch Gardens and the Space Kennedy Center. You've still got to drive to them, but in terms of being central, you're close to Disney and everything. International Drive, and that's where most people stay when they come to Disney, because it's the place to be, really, and it's got a bit of everything from kids parks and areas to go with kids up to fine dining and experiences and stuff. It's got everything you could ever imagine. They've even got miniature theme parks on our drive. So
Okay, the next good point about staying on our drive is that most of the hotels offer transportation to the parks. When we stayed in the Roslyn International, they did offer transportation to Disney, however it wasn't free.
no.
It did cost us, I think, $15 per day per person.
Yeah, which we didn't realise till we got there. That was our fault. We didn't do our research, and that was a bit of a sting. Luckily, we had spend the money, and we were able to move things around and pay for stuff. But it would have been nice to know before we went. So make sure wherever you book on International Drive, if you stay on International Drive, that you double check that your hotel, one, offers transportation, and two, if it's free. Because not all.
And if it's not, how much it is.
Yeah, and see how much it is, and also if they don't offer it, they will know there's another way of getting there. So they'll know. They live there. They know what they're doing. Sticking on the transportation is a thing called the iTrolley. The iTrolley is basically a bus that just goes up and down International Drive. You'll be amazed at how long International Drive is, and it keeps getting longer and bigger and wider every time, every year. More extensions are being done every year, and it's just getting bigger. So the iTrolley goes from one end, which is a shopping centre, to the other end, which is another shopping centre, and it turns around into two. So if you don't take a car and you're using the hotel transportation, that's fine. What you can also do is you can still go up and down International Drive. You can still go to the restaurants you want. You can still eat where you want, do what you want, and go shopping, because you just get on and off of the bus. It's a one-off pay for a week, and then that's it. You
It's
get
just
a
like a
week.
bus pass
Yeah,
that
it's
you
just a
get,
bus
yeah.
pass, on and off, and you can jump on and off at any point, and it's quite regular. I mean, we only used it, I think, twice, maybe 2 or 3 times. But to go to the shopping centres, because the first time we went, I didn't drive. Second time we went, you would have seen we drove that Mustang. God, I missed that car. But yeah, basically, we used it to do that, and then we saw it quite regularly. It's good, definitely good. Yeah, that's kind of the good points that we've got of International Drive.
So we're now going to move on to the good points of staying on Disney property. The first point, which is very obvious, is you're extremely close to the Disney parks, which for us is a bonus. So when we stayed in Coronado Springs last time, we stayed in the Animal Kingdom resort area. So each park has its own resort area, and so does Disney Springs. And from Animal Kingdom resort area where we stayed, I think it was probably about 5-10 minute drive to Magic Kingdom, would you say?
It's about 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes to Magic Kingdom.
That's like inside the car park. Like
Yeah, like
up.
parked up 10 minutes. Places like Animal Kingdom, we were there within 5 minutes.
2 minutes, not even that.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Blizzard Beach, which is a water park, we could literally walk to in about a minute.
It was
literally across and
then
around. That was it. We could get there in literally about a minute, and that was it. So yeah, staying on Disney for that, being close to the parks, is brilliant.
Saves so much time as
Yeah,
well.
really.
More time in the parks, less time
amazing,
driving.
Yeah. Sticking on transportation, I'm going to go through the Disney transportation stuff. So if you stay on Disney and you don't drive, any Disney hotel, even the ones on the site that aren't owned by Disney, so things like the Swan and Dolphin and stuff, they all have Disney transportation, at least a bus. Some have other things like boats and stuff like that, but they all have a bus access, and the buses are really good.
Yeah.
There's various bus stops, and all you've got to know is where you're going, what number you're going to, and that's it. We didn't really use the buses very much. We use them a little bit, but if you drive, that's where it comes into being great on staying on Disney, because you don't have to pay for parking.
As we said before, when you're staying off property, parking is $20 a day. You know, you only have to pay once though. So if you were to go to Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom,
you pay 20, end of. That's it.
Whereas if you stay in Disney, you don't have to pay that £20. You have a little, when you stay on property, they give you a little like piece of paper that slots in the inside of your car.
Don't lose it.
Yeah, don't lose it. And that proves that you're staying on property, and they just give it a look, swipe, and the doors go up, and you don't have to pay.
You're straight through.
Obviously, you still have to pay at Universal and SeaWorld, but Disney, which is a bonus.
Well, absolute bonus for that.
The main advantage for us for staying on Disney property is the Disney dining plan. Luckily, with us, we always book our Florida holidays through Virgin Atlantic. And if you book through certain times of the year, so for example at the minute, I think it's if you book between the 6th of April 2017 and the 6th of November 2016, you get your dining free for 2018, so the next year.
Now, we'll go through another video about
the breakdown
what's included in the dining plan and what hotels get what and all this kind of stuff, but it's free, and that's the main part of what we're kind of trying to get across here. You don't have to pay for food. It's included in the price of the hotel. Obviously, that hotel's a bit more expensive than Stand International Drive, which we've mentioned earlier, but once you get this free food, you then don't have to, depending on the level of one you get, depends on what you get each day, but the one we had, we were able to eat pretty much what we wanted most days.
When we went last time, we had the quick service dining plan,
which we'll go through in another video. It's such a massive topic that it's going to be a video just by itself.
I mean, Virgin Holidays aren't also the only people that offer it. I know that if you book through Walt Disney World, they offer the free Disney dining
and there
plan,
are, I'm sure Thompson and all that do something similar, and Thomas Cook, but we've never been with them. We've always gone with Virgin, and we probably always will. I can't imagine we'll go with anyone else. It's just, we just prefer it. It's much better, and the service is great, so we just love it. Sticking with the dining reservation stuff, so when you get your dining plan, you can make reservations. Now, these reservations can be at all the different eating places, dining areas in Disney, pretty much. Any hotel, any resort, any park. But you've got to book ahead of time, and it's very, very busy. So you can book 180 days in advance. So basically what that means is, let's just say you wanted to eat at Be Our Guest in Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom, which is the restaurant for Beauty and the Beast. Really nice, I fully recommend it. We'll do another video on all these kind of things, but so many videos to do. But yeah, so let's just say you wanted to stay there, you can book 180 days in advance for breakfast, lunch or dinner. And you book it, you use all your codes and stuff, and you get a thing called My Disney Experience app, which I definitely recommend getting if you're going, because it's a lifesaver and it helps plan everything. But you get to book 180 days in advance. If you're staying on Disney, you get an extra 10?
It's an extra 10 days. So for example, if we wanted to book, say on our first day on our holiday, we wanted to book for Be Our Guest. Once we book that, it then opens up the next 9 days of your holiday. So even though it's more than 180 days, you can still book. So on your first day, you can book 10 days of your holiday.
We can book up to 10 days into our holiday. So actually we're booking 190 days in advance if you're staying on Disney, which
you don't
is
get
really
if you
good
stay off-site,
because it books up very, very quickly. Like, you will not get, if you just decided I'm going to rock up to Disney and I'm going to eat and Be Our Guest,
you'll be extremely lucky if you get in.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even heard of it happening.
Like, no, it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah,
and on our
cancellations and stuff.
And on our first trip, when we stayed off-site, we did go to Be Our Guest and say, do you have any reservations? And they just kept saying to us, there may be some, come back in an hour. We come back and they'd say, come back in an hour. And I mean, we didn't want to keep going back because we wanted to spend as much time in the park as we could. But I mean, you probably could. I mean, if you're a table of 2, they probably could squeeze you in. But if it's something you really want to do, book it in advance.
You don't have to pay for many of them. Most of them are free to reserve.
There are a few you have to pay in advance for. For example, Cinderella's Royal Table, you have to pay before you go. And also when we booked Wishes Dessert Party, you also have to book. You always have to pay in advance for that.
Wishes isn't there anymore, is it? It's gone.
Well, it will be because Wishes is gone.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there's different things. So as well as being able to book your dining reservations, you can also book your fast passes. So Your fast passes, if you're not staying on Disney property, you can book 30 days in advance. So if you're staying on International Drive, you can book for 30 days ahead of time for Snow White's Mine Train, all these kind of things. There are categories involved, but that's a whole nother story. If you're staying on Disney property, you get 60 days, which is awesome because you can then, you've got full range of, you don't have to go, oh, I can't have that one because it's fully booked. You can have what you want because...
So an example of how good it is, when we went on our last holiday, me and Jez stayed on site, whereas his family, we kind of clashed when we went and they were there the same time as us, and they stayed off site. On the day we could book our fast passes, I got us a fast pass for Frozen. The day we wanted, bang, gone, we got it, easy. When they then tried to book a fast pass for Frozen, it was really difficult for them to get the fast pass they wanted for the day they were going to that park. And I think they didn't actually, I don't think they got one.
No,
I'm not sure. I don't think they got one. I
think.
think they queued for it. But Jez's sister, who was kind of in charge of all the fast passes, I know that she found it difficult to find a fast pass for that ride because it's a new ride and it was extremely busy.
Yeah.
Whereas we had no problem at all because we stayed on Disney. The next advantage of staying on Disney is with us, because we're staying on Virgin, as well as the free Disney.
We keep going on about Virgin.
Yeah.
We do love Virgin.
Yeah.
We use them all the time. It's sort of like we look online and we can see it's a little bit cheaper, but
we know that the quality's good, the service is good.
We just trust them, and also there's extra things about flying with Virgin, which we'll probably do again in another video. We'll do a Virgin Holidays video because they offer extra things. It just make the whole experience a little bit better.
So as well as the free Disney dining plan, you also get, subject times and whatever, you also get $200 Disney spending money, which is amazing.
You get on a little card.
Yeah, so I think when we went last time we spent some of it on, we bought some Disney plates from Disney Springs, and then I think the rest we spent on pins, didn't we?
Probably pins,
Mickey's
yeah.
Not So Scary Halloween Pie. We bought pins for that, which is absolutely brilliant because, you know, you spent all this money, they're giving you something back, which is really, really nice.
It's good, yeah, you just swipe it, it's easy as that. You spend it on what you want though, food, whatever.
Yeah. And as well as the $200 spending money, we also got Disney's Memory Maker for free, which is absolutely amazing. I think if you buy it on the gate, I think it's $149. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But basically, Memory Maker is when you see photographers in the park standing in front of photo spots, standing in front of the castle or whatever, they'll take a picture of you and then they'll scan your magic band and then you've got that photo. So you can access it on the My Disney Experience app and you have that photo for life then.
You also get all the ride photos as well. So, for example, Tower of Terror, you go for Tower of Terror and actually video you actually get a little video with it. Some of the rides do more than just a photo. They do like a video, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train does it, which is actually one of our older vlogs if you want to go and see it, and you can see what it looks like. And basically, it videos part of the ride and it videos you on the ride. And what it does is it then gives you the whole video on your band and you can watch it on your phone, and then you've got access to that as well. As you get off the ride, you just see the one you want, you just scan your band underneath and it'll
connects to My Disney Experience
done.
app.
And if you've got, and because Disney offer Wi-Fi in the parks, not great, Universal's is better, just saying, but the Disney Wi-Fi is not great, but it works enough that you can still access your app and you can still do things and you can still watch the videos and look at the photos on your phone as well. So yeah, I fully recommend the Memory Maker's good. One of the main extra things actually about staying on Disney, which if you ask anyone that's ever stayed on Disney, they'll all agree that you never leave the magic. So we stayed in Coronado Springs. You get back to the hotel and it's still Disney everywhere. Hidden Mickeys, everything's got Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, all Disney characters and princesses everywhere.
And linking to that, they also carry things on into the night. So I know a lot of resorts do it, but Coronado Springs did it. They do a movie Under the Stars. So they had a big projector, but it was by our pool in our resort, and you could watch Disney films. They have a different one every night. And some resorts also offer like a campfire kind of evening.
All resorts offer extra entertainment. Even the ones on International Drive, that a lot of them will have, like the ones with pools and stuff, will have stuff at the pool. But the ones in Disney, they do like Disney questionnaires, they do the guesty intro, so they'll start playing the music first. They'll do sing along with the campfire and the guitar. They'll do
so there's always stuff going on. Even if you're not at the parks, there is something going on at your resort.
Always stuff at the resort, definitely.
Another bonus of staying on Disney is extra magic hours. So every day of the year, it differs which park it is, but we'll either get early entrance, or you don't usually get both, do you? It's usually
No.
one or the other. So
Yeah.
the park will either open like an hour early, or will stay open for like an extra few hours. So people who stay on Disney Resort get the experience of the park a lot quieter, that's for sure.
Yeah. First we thought, oh, what's the difference? How do they know we're staying on Disney?
Someone off-site could
Because
just
yeah,
pretend.
someone off-site could do it, but. And then someone asked us where we were staying, and we were like, well, that's not difficult. You just say Coronado Springs. We've told you the name of the hotel. You just say that. But every single ride we went on scanned our bands, and it
make
popped
sure
up,
that's
and
where
it
you're
literally
staying.
said where we were staying, what we were doing. But it was really good. The Extra Magic Hours. We went to one of the Extra Magic Hours in Hollywood Studios, and we went on Tower Terror. Now, Tower Terror is a good ride. You go on, there's all this bit in the Twilight Zone, and you do the drops, awesome. And then you finish. You do about 4 or 5 drops, and you finish. You come to the bottom, you see these ghosts. Now, we'd done this, we saw the ghost, we were like, oh great, I let go of the camera, and it shot back up again. And I was just like, oh, so the camera's up here floating in the air. Oh, it's terrible. But it doesn't do that on a normal day because it doesn't have time, because they're trying to get through as many people as possible to shorten the queues. In these Extra Magic Hours, it's walk on. I mean, we didn't queue once.
I mean,
straight
that
on,
may not
straight
be
off.
always.
No,
when
but it
we
was
went.
when we went.
And the last good point we were going to discuss about Disney is the fact that they do room delivery. So if you're in either Disney Springs or in one of the parks and you decide to buy something, so if you were to buy a giant Minnie Mouse teddy, for example, and you didn't want to carry it around the park, when you buy it, the cast member will ask you, are you staying on Disney property? And if you say yes, they will then deliver what you have brought to your room, which
And
is
it'll be,
a massive plus.
It'll be sitting on your bed when you get back. One of the times we done it, we bought some Christmas decorations. We didn't want to leave them. Oh, there's a Christmas shop all year round. Just put that out there.
In more than one park.
In more than one park. But anyway, so the Christmas shop went in, bought his decorations, awesome, and we didn't want to carry them around because they're quite delicate. So the guy was like, do you want us to do it? And we forgot the number we were staying in. We knew we were at Coronado Springs, we could not remember.
I think it was quite early on in the holiday.
Yeah, it
maybe?
might have been
And
the second day or
And
something.
our hotel had about 7,000 rooms or something ridiculous.
So we couldn't remember the number, so we just said Coronado Springs, so we had to go and collect from the front desk. But if you tell them the number, it'll end up on your bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, just remember the number, pretty much.
I mean,
They'll scan
it
your
still
band
gets
and-
delivered to your resort, just not into your bedroom if you don't remember the number.
Yeah.
But so just remember the number.
Yeah, it's easy as that. Just saves you carrying stuff around all day, really. So that's us finished, really. There are our good and bad points. You may be sitting there thinking, well, none of them were bad, and oh, I don't agree with that good point.
That's
But-
just how we experienced
Yeah,
it.
that's how we experienced it. That's what we thought. That's our views on it, and whether or not you agree is up to you. Hopefully we've answered some questions. If you've got any further questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and down here somewhere, I'd imagine, I think it's around here somewhere, click subscribe. We'll see you in the next video, guys, and
Bye, guys.
see you later. Bye.